Welcome back to the workshop, Handyman. Today we're going to be working inside my kitchen. We're going to have a little project here. The wife is complaining about her cabinets not working quite the way she wants to, so we're going to keep motivating ourselves to help her organize that. We did the drawers in a previous video. You can look those up. I'll try to put a link in here someplace. But anyway, so the next cabinet that we're going to work on is going to be pantry cabinets. We'll try to get back a little bit, and you can see this is what we're looking at. So within there, I've kind of done a little bit of a prototype here just to kind of see how things are going to work, and I think I can make it work like this. But as you can see, most of these things are buried way back in there, and so stuff keeps getting buried in the back. So she wants something that'll pull out, and if you go buy these, they are real expensive. So what we're going to do is we're going to build one that we'll pull on out for. So what we've got here is this is pretty much a standard cabinet. So we're talking probably to the back, we're approximately 23.5 inches really to bury to the back. And on this particular cabinet, we're 15 inches wide. Within the opening here, you got another 3/4 of an inch buried behind the cabinet here. So if you go to do these, this is really the key measurement here, as this dimension from this side to this side, and then you have to allow for your door here. So our actual shelves are, a little bit narrower by the time you get your hardware on there. So this particular one, let's see if I can kind of show you what it is. The actual shelf itself is well, that didn't hold very well, did it? It's about 14 1/4. So 14 1/4, and actual depth is 22 inches. So what I've got is with this like this is about the right layout for this. Getting all tongue-tied here. But of course now we've got the problem of if I build these, stuff can fall over the back side, off to the side. There's really no way to hold it. So what we're going to do is probably come in here now, and I'm going to just kind of wrap this thing out a little bit on each side and put some sort of a board around it. I can't go any wider, so I'm going to have to build it within this. And we kind of go through and show you the different steps I did, and we're just I haven't built any more than this, so we're gonna build a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. I think that'll be enough. If she needs more than that, we'll have to come back and go again, but I'll have my video to reference on how to do it again, so we'll go at it that way. So anyways, we'll head to the shop. I'll take this back out with me, and we'll go over all the parts and pieces that we're going to put together. Okay, so we've got out to the shop here, and I've gone ahead, and let's see if we can just go through the material list. We already gave the size of the boards. Let's start, I guess, really down here. I had gone through my kitchen and done a couple of full-length soft close, or self-close, whatever you want to call them, soft close rails on my drawers. So I had these left over, so I'm just going to use those. They're a Bloom rail system. They work pretty good. It comes with just the 2-part that fit together. They look something like that. And then we have the end pieces that go on here to hold it against the back wall. So that's what that's going to consist of. These rails will be attached to these boards, which are just some 3/4 inch 7-ply plywood, birch plywood, and I've made those 3.5 inches tall. So we'll cut those to length that'll fit inside the cabinet, which I believe was about 24 inches. I got to double check on that measurement. So the depth of your cabinet from your oak facing back to the back wall. And then you'll have also one across the back wall, which will be the width of one of your boards here plus a little bit. So really depends on what size your cabinet is as to these sizes. So you'll have to, I guess, kind of figure them out. But if you have the same size as mine, I'll try to get you as many measurements as we can. And then beside that, we're going to have some 3/8 birch plywood. And I'm going to use this to build my side panels. And we're probably going to cut a little bit of a decoration kind of there. I don't want that full 4 inches sticking up out here at the end. I don't think we need it. We do need something though, because lids and stuff will sit against this and we want it to be able to balance up. So we'll cut those to length here on our other sheet. We're going to do the 4 shelves. Like I say, I've got one of them fairly started. Here's the rest of the boards are all cut and ready to go to match those. You will need some 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch pieces of wood of some form. And what they're going to do, if you look at this, is they're going to hold your rails, because normally you'd have your drawer would have a little hang down below it. But it seems how we don't. We had to go ahead and add those to it, and then screwed our other rail system to that. On top of that, then we had a couple of these pieces left over, and we're going to use those to place onto the front edge and cover that up and leave just a little bit of a lip up on top of here. I think this is a little bit taller lip than I wanted. I think that just needs to be just enough to keep stuff from sliding out. So I might make that just a little bit shorter. But that's kind of a preference of yours. Like I say, from there we'll have the other boards going back, and then we'll use the tallest 4 inches on that, I think is what I made all these. And that's what these 2 pieces will be. Yeah, they're measuring 4 inches. So they'll go across the back. So we're going to go ahead and start putting all these together. I think before I go any further with this one, I've already put some screws and nails in it, but I do need to rabbet this thing out to accept this this wood that we're going to be putting in here. So I'm going to go ahead and set my router up and do all of those and get them ready to put the side panels on. And we'll kind of show you what it looks like as we go. Okay, so what I've got, I did the router. I've routed this all out so that it gives me a place for the boards on the 3 sides. And then I've got the other panels. These will be the side panel. Like I say, I don't want to quite have those all the way, so all I'm going to really do on this, I've drawn a little line on here. I just come up like 1.5 inches on this, or 1.25 inches, and I run it back here. I'm going to leave about 10 inches back here. Taped them all together so I can get all 8 pieces, four drawers, so 2 of them each side. And I'm just going to simply take them to the bandsaw, cut them off, and then I'm going to put it on the sander and just kind of round the edges to make it look a little bit better. And I think that'll do fine. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those up. They'll sit back into the groove here, and we'll go start putting that together. So we'll go ahead and get that knocked on out. Okay, so what I've done is, of course, I've got all my parts and pieces sanded down. They're looking pretty good, and everything's routed out. I've got my little front piece ready to go on here, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this little front piece. We'll go ahead, I'm just adding a little bit of glue. I'll set it right in my vise here to hold it in place. Let's see if we can get you on it. Yeah, we'll kind of probably time lapse most of this so that you can just kind of see it going together, but I'll do this one and then just continue on with the other 4. Okay, with that being done, like I say, we've got one done. That'll be ready for the tracks on the bottom. And those, I think I've already showed. We already did one other one of these. So we'll show you that one. It's got the tracks on the bottom. We simply put a couple screws in those. See if we can get you a good far back. Track starts up there at the top on the front. And we'll do a little bit of fine finish sanding on it after everything's dried and set in place, but I think that'll hold together just fine. And as I say, we'll do the other ones. It's got 2 of them together. We'll put the other one together, and then we can start working on the rails for inside the cabinet. So we'll show you what that looks like after we get to that point. Okay, so I guess I need to bring you up to date on what I have done. I've finished them off, got a little polyurethane thing and all on them. The drawers I think are looking pretty good. So what we've got to do now is put the tracks on them. And what I did is I simply cut this piece of wood here, the length or the depth of the cabinet. And then I've mounted the rails on here. Now I made me a little jig up to sit under here, just a little block, as you can see. So that gives me my 3/4 inch to hang over the outside lip of the cabinet, the facing of the cabinet. And I wanted them to all be the same space up, so this will go in there, and then when I set that in the cabinet, actually the pegs that were in there holding the shelf up, these will sit on it, and then the screws into here will hold it into the face of the cabinet and stay put, and then we'll work on the back wall. So that gets this built, and then the other part of this is the 2 tracks that'll go on here, and they sit like this, and this will be the face of the cabinet. So we'll need to do that and get those set in, and they fit up tight to the front face. And then all I'm doing is coming down through, and I like to pre-drill my holes because there's not a whole lot here. Sure, if I can get a little pre-drill. And just put me a couple of number 6 pan head screws in here. And we should be good to go. And then with that in place, you can see how these will simply, when we get them installed in the drawers, that'll sit there. The drawer will sit in there, and these, like I say, will sit against the pins that are already in the drawer. That'll hold those up, and then we'll have to build the back. So we'll get that. I've got the other 3 drawers all ready to go, or 4. So we'll finish mounting that one bracket, and then we'll go from there with the back plate and show you how to build that one up. Okay, so for the back piece that you see here, what I've done is I just stayed with the same as this, 3.5 inches, and then we came in and we cut a groove in this. And the reason I did that is the back of this has a little catch on it, and if we pull all this out, you kind of see it. That's what holds the back of the glides up. So this will go against the back wall, and then you cut the groove in it because these little pieces have, if you can see them, have little tips on them, and so they need to have the groove cut in so that that lines up like this, and just this dimension has to be the same as this so that they line back up and stay parallel. So I think that ended up being a little over on this particular one. We're about 1.5 inches to the bottom of the groove, to the top of this, so that it'll fit in there and hold the drawer just perfect. So that'll kind of give you an idea. And then the groove allows this back piece to be able to move back and forth a little bit when you put that in there so that you can square your drawer up coming in. And then if you want to, you can put a screw there to hold it all together. And then a couple screws here will go into the back wall. So that's what it takes to get the backside fixed and ready to go if you're using this system. So from here, we're going to take them in the house and see if we can place them in the cabinets and see how it all looks when we get done. Okay, so in here, we've gone ahead and mounted all these. Like I say, they should be up to the front face. Drill and put a screw into that, and then they sit across the back. And I just put a couple screws in the back to hold it up. And throughout that, we've got all 4 of them mounted. So now I can go ahead and just start setting the drawers in place, which should be no big problem. So let's see if we can do this one-handed. That's going to be probably the biggest challenge, but so we'll set this in the track where it belongs. And then if I can do it one-handed, that's the question. Let's see if that's lined up or not. I don't think I'm lined up. Anyway, okay, so it's not that easy. It's not going in one-handed. I think I've missed the track here somehow. So, anyways, we'll go ahead and just set those on in with both hands. Okay, with two hands, that wasn't too bad a project there. But we've put everything in. They all slide in and out nicely. We'll let the wife go ahead and finish up her part of it. But for me, that'll complete this project. And thanks for tuning in. We'll check back with you with another project soon, I'm sure. But for this one here, we'll wrap that one up. So thanks bunch. Hope this was a idea for you, if you can use it. And please subscribe, like, and comment anything you have to say. Always appreciate it. Talk to you on the next project.